The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you. All those who are liking, sharing, commenting. I say thank you. And those who are sending me super thanks as well. I say thank you so much. And please, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. On this platform, I share educative content that will help us emancipate ourselves, for us to unite as a people to fight against the same person that is preventing us from having our freedom. Africans are the only people that throughout history we have suffered a lot. We are the ones that people came in contact with us and then wipe out everything that makes us a people. So today the African do not know who he or she truly is, because the narrative has been told by our oppressors. So we don't actually know who we are, as we are on this journey trying to know who we are, so that together we can liberate ourselves. It is important that every information we get, we share it among ourselves. A father, an uncle, is telling us something concerning the great kings that we had in Egypt. According to him, Pharaoh is a Greek word. It is not an African word. That the great Africans who lived, the kings, there was nothing like Pharaoh. That Pharaoh is a Hebrew word which is from a Greek origin. But this is what we have been preached to. Majority of us still don't know that this is not actually a word that originated from the African.
The pharaohs we call Pharaoh, but I have to say two things. I've learned two things. Reading the glyphs, there's no such word as Pharaoh. It's Pharaoh, number one, which means great house.
Before you continue, what's the origin of the words? Where did they get this word Pharaoh from?
I'm going to tell you. Number two, Pharaoh is a Hebrew word that came from the Greek. It is not an Egyptian word. It does not exist. So when we say Pharaoh, we're calling it the name of the rulers of the occupiers of Egypt, the Greek, who came later. So it's a later term for the ruler, but it's not the term that the native of the local Egyptian, local Africans used themselves.
All right. Can you speak about the scriptures? I believe it's in his tomb, Unan?
Unas.
Yeah.
Well, Unas, who's a fourth dynasty king, or, the greatest, I think the best way to refer to these kings, there's not king, not pharaoh, but they were what the Pope tries to be. They were the number one holy person of the country, because all of Egypt was nothing but a country of temples. And the most holiest ones formed a layer on the top, and out of that layer, they elect who would be the head priest. They had high priests, we know those titles, but they had the ultimate priest, who came out of the high priest rank, became the head of the country. When he's buried under his pyramid in his tomb, on the walls of his tomb, he believed in this scripture that they had been his priests. And the scripture really is about two things. It's about making peace with all the different elements of nature and making a prayer that it now can join a certain part of nature far off in death. And that place they want to join is the belt of Orion. If you look at the belt of Orion, there's 7 stars, and those stars are talked about in the Bible, especially in Revelation. But you have these 4 points on the end, and you have a belt of 3. And their prayer was for their spirit to join the energy of the universe on the end star on the left. So in these prayers, they talk about moral compass, that I am deserving of this because I have lived this kind of life. So in that moral compass, it then talks about Unas, it talks about their concepts. They're wrestling with issues of where am I, who are we, where do we go. They deal with the concepts of creation, with a moral compass that later became the 10 Commandments.
Is that also the Declaration?
The Declaration of Innocence. Because in the Declaration of Innocence, it's quite interesting how it became transformed. Because by the Egyptians who felt that it was the moral way to live is to take self-responsibility, to live righteously. So their Declaration of Innocence, which are 42 of them, when you die, you're judged by these 42 judges, is one of, I have not. I have not committed sin. I have not committed adultery. I have not committed murder. It is your responsibility, your Declaration of Innocence, when you go before the judge. It's not someone else telling you, taking the responsibility away from you and saying, thou shalt not. No, it's your voluntarily responsibility. I have lived a righteous life. And because I've lived a righteous life, I deserve to go and join my ancestors, my village of ancestors, of other righteous people. And the most righteous of those, when they die, their spirits, their souls ascend.
Majority of us still don't know that this is not actually a word that originated from the African. We need to dig deep down to know who we are. It is so heartbreaking that even till date, the things that sometimes we find out as truth concerning us turn out not to be the same thing. It's still the same colonizer who code things in a different way in order to still mislead us. That is why it is very important that the African dig deep. We dig deep in order to find out who we actually are, because a lot happened. And now we don't even know what is right and what is wrong. We have to fight to get to know who we are. That is the only time we can actually fight and win this battle. Self-awareness is very important. And that is why we need to always channel our energy into finding things that will educate us and reshape us, for us to be able to know where we are going to and what we should be doing. People are very smart. The people who came in contact with us are very smart. They are not allowing us to be. Like Captain Ibrahim Traore said, they studied the pattern, get to know what we want. Then they channel the energy towards that, push that thing to us. And this is what we continue to go by, because wherever we search, that is the information that we get. We have to find out our true self. This is what these people do not want us to know, because the day the African will become self-conscious, then their downfall has come. So they try to do everything possible in their power to make sure that self-awareness, the African do not get it. That is why they are controlling everything about us. When you come to the movie industry, the music, everything, they sponsor to make sure that they feed us with wrong information day in, day out. Like Julius Malema will ask, how can you use a beautiful woman to advertise alcohol? Instead of you to use the real people that are into alcohol and what alcohol has done to them. But these ones will always make sure they package the wrong thing in a very nice way for us. So we end up feeding ourselves with things that actually do not have anything to set us free. That is why we need to walk away from everything of these people. We should be able by now to identify the things that are good and those that are not good. We have a long way to go, because there are a lot of things that the African haven't discovered. We have been told a lot of lies. We have to unite, continue to fight this battle until we win. And we can only win it when we are united, when we move out of everything to look for the truth. And it's only the truth that will set us free. As they are fighting us in every angle, we should also fight back by looking for the right things that will change us and inform us to take right decisions on what we should be doing. They are on a mission, and we are also on a mission. But we must defeat these people with all that we have, because we have suffered for a very long time, and we cannot continue to live this way. If we do that, the generations that will come, ours will be better than theirs, because we have been able to get certain things. But these ones that are coming, I wonder what will happen. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's colonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world. In Africa,